All right, let's talk about something that sits at the very heart of your home, your heating and air conditioning. We're going to build out the homeowner's HVAC playbook. You know, when that system fails, it's not just an oops, it's a full-blown crisis, right? But what if you had a game plan to navigate all that stress? Well, that's exactly what we're going to put together today.
I mean, picture this. It's the scenario that gives every homeowner nightmares. One minute, you're perfectly comfortable, and the next, your house is either an oven or an icebox. It's a huge problem, and it needs a smart solution fast. But where do you even start?
You know, we're not just talking about an inconvenience here. It's a full-on comfort crisis. It totally disrupts your life. But here's the secret. Taking back control isn't just about understanding the machine itself. It's about understanding the unique world your home lives in.
Yeah, here's the thing most people miss. The real key to figuring out your HVAC issues isn't just the furnace or the AC unit. It's where you live. And to really see this in action, we're going to zoom in on a perfect case study, the city of Chester, Pennsylvania.
The environment in a place like Chester puts an incredible, unique strain on these systems. I mean, think about it. You've got that heavy 70% plus summer humidity that forces AC units to just run and run and run. You're right next to the Delaware River, which throws moisture and corrosive salt into the air. And a lot of the homes are older, from the 20s to the 60s, meaning their bones, their infrastructure just wasn't built for modern systems. It's really a perfect storm of stress factors.
And this is where it gets so interesting, because different homes fight totally different battles. You take one of those classic century-old row houses, it's probably struggling with ductwork that's way too small and an old electrical panel that's screaming for help. But then you look at a 1960s ranch house, it's got a completely different set of worries, like leaky ducts hiding in a crawlspace. See, your home's age and its style, they literally define the challenge.
So with all that pressure from the outside world, what's actually breaking on the inside? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the mechanical parts that are most likely to give up under all that pressure.
In the summer, oh man, the heat and humidity are just brutal. Capacitors, those are the little parts that give the motors a jolt to start. They just get fried from being overworked. The compressor, which is basically the heart of the whole system, it can easily overheat. And that salt in the air, it literally eats away at the outdoor unit. Every one of these failures is a direct result of the local climate.
Come wintertime, it's a whole different ballgame. Now your furnace is kicking on and off, which just wears out the igniter. The blower motor is under constant strain. But the big one, the one you really have to worry about, is a cracked heat exchanger. And this isn't just about being cold. This is a serious safety risk. It can actually leak deadly carbon monoxide into your home.
Okay, so the system breaks, panic sets in. Now what? Let's pivot from the problems to the solution. Because honestly, your best defense as a homeowner is knowing what a good, honest service call is supposed to look like. Look, the perfect service call should be super simple and totally transparent. It really just boils down to 3 steps. First, the technician does a deep dive to find the real root cause, not just a symptom. Second, you get to review clear options with written estimates before they touch anything. And finally, they test the repair and they guarantee their work. The key here is that you should feel in control every single step of the way. So here's what to look for, what you should really demand. They should explain things in plain English, no confusing technical jargon. They must give you a written estimate before any work starts. And maybe most important of all, there should be absolutely no pressure to buy some huge expensive new system when a simple repair is all you need. These are your non-negotiables. And that brings us to the biggest and, often the most expensive question that every homeowner eventually has to face with their HVAC system. This is the dilemma, right? Do you keep pouring money into this old, aging system, or do you just bite the bullet and make the huge investment in a new one? It's a really, really tough call to make. But check this out. There's a fantastic rule of thumb that can help guide you. It's called the $5,000 rule. It's super simple. Just take the age of your system in years and multiply it by the cost of the repair. So for example, say your AC is 12 years old and it needs a $500 repair. You just do the math. 12 times 500, that's $6,000. Since that number is over $5,000, it's a really strong signal that replacing the whole thing is probably the smarter financial move in the long run. Of course, the absolute best way to avoid having to make that stressful decision in the first place, it's all about prevention. Getting regular, professional maintenance is the single best thing you can do to make your equipment last longer and keep it from breaking down on the hottest or coldest day of the year.
All right, let's wrap all this up with your quick reference playbook. Just a few key rules I want you to remember that you can start using immediately.
First up, you've got to know the lifespan. In a really demanding climate like the one in our case study, a well-maintained system is probably going to last you about 15 to 20 years. So if your system's getting into that age range, you should be planning for its replacement, not just reacting when it dies.
Okay, here's a fantastic pro tip that costs you absolutely nothing. It's the 3-minute rule. If you turn your AC off, or maybe the power flickers, always wait at least 3 full minutes before you turn it back on. That little pause lets the pressure inside the system balance out, and it protects the compressor from getting totally fried. This simple habit could save you from the single most expensive repair there is.
And please, burn this next one into your memory. The quote is, "Too many homeowners have been told their system is shot when it needed a $200 repair." This just gets to the absolute core of why being an informed homeowner is so critical. An honest diagnosis is everything. And you know what? Getting a second opinion is never, ever a bad idea.
And hey, if you do decide it's time to replace your system, be strategic. Timing is everything. The absolute worst time to buy is in the middle of a crazy heat wave or deep freeze. That's when you're desperate and you'll pay emergency prices. The best time is during the shoulder seasons, fall and spring. Demand is way lower, contractors actually have time, and you can often snag some great manufacturer rebates.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Try not to think of your HVAC system as just a machine that either works or is broken. Instead, think of it as a system that's constantly trying to communicate with you. Is it running a lot longer than it used to? Is it making weird new noises? Paying attention to those little signals, now that is the ultimate homeowner strategy.